We meet again, old friend. Look how they got you where they want you.
Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about all things first trimester. Okay, so I've got my phone and I have a few notes written down just to kind of keep me on track, but I want to make sure I cover everything that I experienced through the first 4 months of pregnancy. All right, so one of the first things that women think about when they become pregnant is morning sickness. Morning sickness for me was terrible. Very, very, very terrible. You know, coming into this pregnancy, I felt like I've been pregnant before. I know what morning sickness is all about. I got this. I'll just do everything I did before to help me get through that period. No. So this pregnancy is nothing like anything I've ever experienced before. And the morning sickness, it was out of control. Like I was completely blindsided by how my body reacted to this pregnancy. One of the first things that I learned early on is that if I didn't allow myself to get hungry, that would help me get through the morning sickness. And let me just say, we say morning sickness all the time, but it was not morning sickness. Yes, it started in the morning when I woke up, but it was all day sickness, okay? So from the time I woke up to the time I was ready to go back to bed, I was dealing with morning sickness. My pregnancy kind of progressed. It kind of shifted to that where it was like evening sickness. But in the beginning, like those first 10 to 12 weeks, it was all day sickness. You kind of know your schedule and you know when it's time to eat. So if I allowed myself to get to the point where like my stomach is growling and I'm feeling those hunger pains, it's way too late. Of course, every woman is so different. Every pregnancy is different. But that would be one of my first tips is make sure you always have crackers, fruit, something on hand so that you're snacking and you're not ever allowing yourself to get totally hungry, okay? Another thing that I found, and I got these on Amazon. I know the packaging may be backwards, the lettering may be backwards on here, but it's by Pink Stork, and these are actually B6 drops. So they kind of look like little lozenges. Let's see, where's the camera? Little lozenges. And this particular package is mango flavored. And so that's something that I love anyway, pre-pregnant is mango. So I got the mango flavor. And yeah, I've heard and read that B6 is good for morning sickness. So when I saw this, I'm just like, you know what? I have nothing to lose at this point. I'm going to pick these up. I think there's like 30 lozenges in a pack. I have probably gone through about 3 to 4 of these bags of drops. They worked so well for me. So I would keep a pack at home, a pack at work, so that I would have it at all times. And I cannot say enough how much these help. So yeah, Pink Stork, I got this on Amazon. Check it out. All right, another thing that I tried was ginger. I'm a fan of ginger, so it wasn't a stretch for me to drink ginger tea. I also got this on Amazon. So this is made by a company called Traditional Medicinals. All right, and it's just ginger tea. That's it. So if you are a tea drinker, that would be a lifesaver too. I basically did everything that I could think of to get myself through. Morning sickness is just one of those aspects of pregnancy that a lot of people don't really want to harp on or talk about because it's kind of like the ugly side of pregnancy, but it's real. And for me, it almost felt debilitating. Like I missed work over morning sickness. I felt like I could not function, and you almost just don't even feel human at a certain point because you're just sick all day, every day for months. And it's rough. So once I found like those little remedies here and there that I could use to kind of ease that kind of period of my pregnancy, I was all in. But I will say around week 9 to 10 is when I felt kind of like a shift. So the morning sickness was there, but I felt this shift of this isn't as bad as it's been. And you could kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. And I knew that it was progressing to a point where it was going to come to an end soon. So I found out I was pregnant in October. By November, so for Thanksgiving, I was able to eat. That was something that was really, really important to me, that I be able to eat Thanksgiving dinner. So that kind of leads me into my next point of food aversions. Food aversions during pregnancy can be really, really tricky. Sometimes you know specifically, like, these are foods that I cannot do. I don't like the smell of them. And it's very obvious that you cannot eat certain things. But sometimes in pregnancy, you crave something and then it turns around and makes you sick. So that happened to me too. Um, One of the biggest food aversions that I have, and I still have to this day, is sweet foods. So any type of like dessert, um, even fruits that are too sweet, like grapes, any type of sweetness is going to automatically trigger the nausea. So even though at this point, by the time you're seeing this video, I'm out of my first trimester and I've kind of moved on from the morning sickness. If I indulge in something, or too much of something, I should say, at this point, that's sweet, I'm going to get sick. However, in the beginning, there was no indulging. I mean, just as soon as it hit my mouth, immediately sick. So could not do anything sweet at all. Yeah, and that was rough because I have a sweet tooth, like many people, and especially when you're pregnant, a lot of times you have all of these cravings. And so, yeah, I can remember craving sweet things and I just couldn't do it, could not do it. Another food aversion was the smell of cooked meat. Any meat, it did not matter what it was, even if it tasted good to me, which many meats did not. I think the only meat that I really, really liked during my early stages of pregnancy was pork, like bacon. But other than that, any type of cooked meat would immediately send me into the bathroom. So yeah, there were many, many days where my husband was cooking and I could be clear across on the other side of the house and I get a whiff of anything that he's cooking and I'm immediately yelling for windows to get, opened and air out the house because it was just bad. It was bad. All right, so food aversions. I think that's pretty much it with food aversions. Now, let's talk about food cravings. With this baby, I crave apples. I love apples. I'm a fruit person anyway, pre-pregnant, but let me tell you, the pregnant version of me loves apples. And when I say loves apples, I can, the little bags of apples that you can get at the store. I go through probably 2 bags of apples in one work week. So in a 5-day period, I'm just I am just devouring apples. Love them. And so you can find apples in my purse, apples in my bag for work, apples at work, apples by my bed. Like, I love apples. So that's one of the things that I crave a lot of. Another food is potatoes. Again, not that I never loved potatoes, but I can eat a potato probably every day, multiple times a day. And in the beginning of my pregnancy, honestly, that was really one of the main foods that I could tolerate, was mashed potatoes. That's another thing that I want to touch on, is that in the beginning of my pregnancy, I probably had about 3 foods that I could eat. Um, Applesauce, hence the apples, potatoes, and I had to be careful because I could eat mashed potatoes were the best. If I had like a whole baked potato, sometimes if it wasn't cooked soft enough, that would trigger, a gag reflex or issues digesting that. But I could do that. I could do mashed potatoes, baked potatoes sometimes. And then I had to be really careful with French fries. Although French fries were a safe food, I had, as crazy as it sounds, I would have to be careful where I got the French fries from. And I think it was because of the oil that whatever fast food company would make them with. So yeah. If the French fries didn't make me sick, it was the actual like oil, because I could taste it or smell it and it would make me nauseous. So yeah, so potatoes, applesauce, and bananas. Those were like the basic things. And I was really worried in the beginning because, again, if you're only eating like 3 different foods, you worry about like, okay, what nutrients am I really giving to my baby? But the flip side of that is I can't hold anything else down. So you kind of feel like you're in this catch-22. So one thing that was really, really important was prenatal vitamins. Now, just so you can kind of see the labeling of the vitamin. So this vitamin is made by My Kind Organics. And I ordered this off of Amazon. You can get it in the store, but I ordered it off of Amazon as well. Something I really love about these prenatal vitamins, number one, completely organic. Also, I only needed to take one, and they have everything in them. I mean, everything but the kitchen sink is in this prenatal vitamin, and it's not even that big, and I only have to take one. I don't know about you, but I am not a huge pill taker, so only having to take one, I was sold. So yeah, My Kind Organics, and I got those off of Amazon. Okay, so I think that kind of brings us pretty much through the first trimester. I do want to note that one thing that I experienced is spotting and cramping. So I had issues with spotting and cramping since the day I found out I was pregnant. I know with my other pregnancies, I never experienced that at all. So when I experienced it with this one, especially being someone who has had a legit miscarriage before, it was really, really scary. Now, my doctor did reassure me that although no doctor wants her patient to be spotting and cramping during pregnancy, that it is common, and a lot of women do deal with that. So if you're having any type of spotting or cramping, definitely talk to your doctor. But know that there are women who do experience that, unfortunately. So yeah, that's one of the kind of scary things that I experienced during this pregnancy so far. But I'm just really thankful and grateful that baby is healthy. Everything looks great. And so far, so good. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.
You don't have to say it's over.